Hello guys and welcome to the Season 3 Race 7 here at Hungaroring, Hungary for SRA. We're watching the Division 1 race today and it's going to be a wet one out there. I'm here today joined by Josh Damiani and Jan Rodricks. We're in for a really good stream. But this is race 7. There's only one more race left after this, and it's going to be at Bathurst. So a lot of championship points are on the line here today. Going to be a lot of people moving around too, being a wet race. As we saw in the practice race yesterday, we had our typical favorite to win was actually a back marker. So this is going to be a very interesting race. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled and don't change that channel through it because there's going to be a lot of moving around. We're right now currently watching the qualifying of the silver division for the Division 1. We're currently looking at Matt Schwartz going around the track. Already setting some pretty fast times on the board here. Looks like the track for today is, if you see in the top right there, it's rain, a little bit less rain, and then some more rain. So doesn't look too wet out there. So people are getting some decent times in already. A 1:54.5 is pretty good for the rain. But yeah. So Jan, do you want to give us a little bit of history about this track here?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Paula. So hello, everyone. Welcome to Hungaroring, and notoriously one of the most difficult tracks to overtake on, both on GT World Challenge circuit and the Formula One calendar as well. So it's going to be quite an interesting one, and today's rain is going to make it extra exciting. So in terms of a little history of the Hungaroring, it's an approximately 4.4 kilometer or 2.7 mile for those of us here in the United States racetrack in Magyarország, Hungary, which is about 20 minutes, from Budapest, about 10 kilometers, and it's where the Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix is held. So the track was built originally for Formula One. Our old pal Bernie Ecclestone, when he was still in charge of Formula One, wanted to race in the USSR, but instead a Hungarian friend recommended to him that they race in Budapest. They really wanted a street circuit that was similar to Monaco, and they originally were thinking to build it around a park called Nepliget, which is Budapest's largest park. But the government instead decided that they didn't want to do that, and they built a new circuit just outside the city. For those of you who think that this feels like Monaco, that's intentional, and it's often called Monaco without the buildings. So that explains the tight, twisty feel and not a lot of overtaking opportunities that we have on this track. In terms of construction, that started on October 1st, 1985, and it was built in record time, 8 months, which was less than any other Formula One circuit at that time. And that date for that first race of March 24th, 1986, made it the first Formula One race, rather, behind the Iron Curtain. And this region, Magyarország, ranks third among Hungarian destinations overall visited by tourists, and the Hungaroring plays an important part in that. So you guys are seeing a piece of history here. First track that, Formula One race behind the Iron Curtain. So enjoy. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Paula.
All right. So only 5 minutes left, or less than 5 minutes left for the qualifying for D1 Silver here. A lot of people are looking to get in their times right now. Those who were doing their out laps before or making some mess ups before, and now they're trying to put the pedal down and get that time that they have been practicing for. A lot of people that are off pace a little bit there at the towards the bottom, looking to get some of those people up towards where Josh and Dehi are. Katejovic 4 seconds off pole here for the silver division. So a lot of time left to be had here, but this is the rain. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of people who are not very confident in the rain. So there's going to be a lot of people who are thrown off here. But we're watching Josh Arnold go around here, one of the great drivers here in Silver Division, formerly a Division 2 driver, was just too fast at the end of the season. Had to bump him up, and now he's every week we hear Josh Arnold for pro in the chat. So definitely someone to keep an eye on, and who I have all the confidence of putting it really high up there, even for being a silver driver. He's probably going to be out there beating a lot of the Division 1 gold drivers. So yeah, 153.8 from Matt Schwartz, an absolutely screaming time out there. And Josh Arnold only 0.05 off of that time, so very, very close indeed. And it looks like the Porsches might have a touch of an advantage here. A lot of Porsches have put it up there, including our good friend and streaming buddy, Jess Osborne, who has had a pretty decent qualifying run so far, only 1 second off of pole. So,
Josh Arnold also has one of the best liveries in the track today with that P51 Mustang inspired livery. So, I think that's worth at least half a second.
And Josh Arnold is also fielding a team. Ooh, as he gets a little bit loose there after touching a curb, sends it backwards. Hopefully he can get it back on track. Try to beat that time, get up there for pole. Heads back to the pits. But yeah, he's also fielding a team in the Division 2 series as well. The Flying Aces have taken over the grid all the way around. Both teams doing very well in their respective divisions. But yeah, only 2 minutes left of the qualifying session here. Still people trying to get in their times. Looks like Katejevic improved by almost 2 seconds there. Very good for him. But yeah,
a lot of drivers starting to take advantage of the water getting pushed around from everybody pushing out on track, as well as the rain starting to let off a little bit over the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an advantage for the gold drivers. Seeing that at the top there, that minus rain means it's going to let off the rain a little bit, and it's going to increase the rain, but I don't think that's really going to come into play. That's just for the next 30 minutes. So
Schwartz drops almost another half a second to a 53.5.
Oh, wow. Wow. Great lap from him.
Again, finding that dry line. A lot less wheel spin means a lot more pace. Simply put.
The love bot's shown up again in the chat, but surprisingly, only 85% or 84% of folks find love with that bot. So, not a great record there for a bot.
Man, yeah, it's really not good.
We demand high odds here at SRA, so
yeah, I mean, if you're gonna like come to SRA, you just gotta know that we have the sexiest drivers around, the fastest drivers around. We demand only the best Russian love bots. So if you're listening, man sitting in a cave somewhere in Russia, step up your game, man.
we're talking at least 99%. At least. You find a way to be in between that and 100.
I'm going to spread the love around a little bit here as people are finishing up their laps here, their last laps. Looks like Victor Diaz is up on his time. Actually, Matt Schwartz is up on his time by 0.3. That would be insane. But Victor Diaz is up by almost 0.2 here. Let's see where he can put it. 5th place is not too bad for him. But now he's up almost half a second here.
And as the gold drivers come out, that initiates everybody's favorite, the Doug cam, found in the bottom right corner in the pit.
Yeah, we had many requests today for 24/7 Doug cam. The entire race, one cam on Doug the entire time. If you're listening, buddy, no pressure. We'll just be catching every single one of your goof moments as we see Victor Diaz actually invalidate his insane time there Very unfortunate for him as he merges with another driver in the pit box. I'm not sure what's up with that.
That's that love bot coming to effect with Victor Diaz and Josh Arnold there coming together.
Dae-hee Yun improves on his time there, puts it up in second place, only a 10th off of pole there. Very good time for him. And Matt Schwartz with a 153.2, Dae-hee Yun with a 153.4, and Josh Arnold with a 153.9 for our pole sitters for the silver division. Great run from these guys. All right, let's take a look at some of these gold drivers going out on track now. Looks like we already have a Douglas Mitchell cam. I guess it can't hurt to have two, but got to spread the love around. I'm going to take a look at Bellinger.
Who's starting a flying lap?
Who is?
I don't know.
Oh.
Who is? The Deltas are not giving me information right now.
Yeah. So Matt Lehman just went on a flying lap here. We're going to take a look at him. Matt Lehman being one of the favorites to win pretty much every week. A certified alien here in the league as Douglas Mitchell collides with an Acura NSX.
Unfortunately, that was Tyler James.
Oh, Tyler James. My goodness. I mean, if it's pass equals ban, if one of the admins punts someone else, does he ban himself? I don't know.
We're going to need a clarification on that rule.
Yeah, we're gonna need to look at the rule book for that. Call up the FIA or the IMSA. Who's the sanctioning body here?
I think it's the SRA on this one.
Yeah, SRA.
I think it's the Matt Schwartz Intelligence Agency, if I'm being all honest.
Yeah, there you go.
The stewarding group is headed by Matt Schwartz, but they have put in quite a lot of work throughout the season and continue to encourage this wonderful clean racing we can continuously provide for everybody.
Yeah, a huge shout out to the stewarding team as they're the silent heroes of our league, week in, week out, making sure that all the bad men get penalized as they're supposed to. Keep the racing here fun and clean. Looking for someone here to finish up their time. So we can get someone on the board here as Matt Lehman instantly puts it up on top with a 152.7. Fimbres Costas coming in right behind him with a 152.9. They're definitely going to be looking to improve on that as well. You definitely see the advantage of going out second here. Not only did the track dry up just a touch, but also the racing line that was developed by the first set of drivers going out, pushing that water off to the side of the track, makes it just a touch easier for these folks. As a lot of Division 1 drivers, or Division 1 Gold drivers rather, are putting in their times here, as you can see on the board. For any of those watching at home and are a little bit confused as to who is who as far as silver or gold, if you take a look next to their names where the numbers are, there's either a white or silver box over their number. The silver box is for the silver division, and the white box is for the gold division.
As the pit picks up Evan Kim, currently up 3/10 on his lap. The BBC hoping for a nice, strong, powerful performance here in Hungary. Looking to really drive home some points here in the back half of the season.
And the BBC have definitely put on a solid showing all season, considering some of the company that we are in. Very, very fast people. But they've still managed to put on quite a show here. Evan Kim being the lead driver, I believe, of the BBC, has been putting in a ton of work.
Spearhead.
Yeah, the spearhead, the tip rather, of the BBC, coaching a lot of Division 2 and Division 3 drivers, getting them up to speed. I know Evan has put in a lot of work with those people, really helping out the community with that, making sure everyone can find pace out there. They have their own little section of the server dedicated to them, so they can do their own training. A lot of work put in by those guys to make that Bentley work for them. As I'm taking a look at Fimbres Casas, who is up a tenth and a half on his time here. Pretty much all the top 3 drivers here are up on their deltas by a decent little bit. Travis Nordstrom has put it on second place here with a 152.93. Jay Riley just put it up with a 153.1.
There's going to be another battle of the Hondas.
It might just be. The Hondas really came out the cut and just put on a dominating show this season. There's going to be a lot of people thinking about switching to the Honda. Those who drive it speak very, very highly of it. So last season, I don't think we had a single Honda on the grid. But this season, we seem to have a decent little bit, especially in Division 1. I'm not sure about Division 2, there being any Hondas, but all these people seem to be very fond of it. I don't know. When I drove it, I found it to be extraordinarily twitchy and difficult to drive. But maybe that's a skill issue. I don't know. As Fimbres Casas puts it back into P2 with a 152.7. Travis Nordstrom dropping back down to 3rd place. So
he's just setting himself up here for a hot lap, so see what he can answer back.
I'm going to spread the love around a little bit for the drivers here on track. Looking at Bellinger, who is 2/10 up on his time right now. Bellinger is a driver that I've been looking at quite a bit this season. He put in a really, really good show. Wasn't here last season, came in this season, and is putting a lot of other drivers to shame, as I believe he improves on his time there and heads back to pits. Looking at Dom Duran, a seasoned veteran of the league here, who is 2.5 tenths up on his time going through this 3rd sector, I believe. Now up 3 tenths. Duran switching to the Aston Martin this year. Not quite as fast as he was before with that Porsche, but still absolute powerhouse and someone that you can always bet on putting it up top, and is in legitimate contention to win races week in and week out.
And Riley put it on pole a couple seconds ago. Now Matt Lehman's going to find himself sandwiched between those Hondas there. It's going to be interesting. See if he can answer back here.
I'm going to tell you, Matt Lehman is not going to be happy about that one, as he is going on a new lap here.
And Quigg is significantly up on his lap time. Is 7
enough
tenths
to
up.
jump almost the entire field.
Yeah, for sure. So he might get in the mix there.
And Quigg is in the picture there. Yeah, loses a decent amount of time there, but he's still got 5 minutes left of the qualifying session. So there's still a lot of time for these people to improve. Still a lot more positions to be shaken up here.
Gonna get ahead of one of the Hondas here, I think.
Ooh, all but one. 52.6.
Yeah, gets ahead of Lehman there as well. Lehman's got to find an answer here.
As Duran heads into the 3rd sector, 6 tenths up on his time. Looking really good right now. 7 tenths. This could be enough to put him in P5 or 6, I believe, if he can hold it together through these last couple turns here. Going through the last turn here, loses a little bit of time. Can he gain it back? Yes, he can. Great exit out there. And that's going to jump him from P10 to P7. Really good lap there. Spreading the love around a little bit more, looking for some more people who are up on their deltas here. Tyler James, half a second up on his delta, going through the second sector there. As he loses a little bit of time and gaining it back again. Going over the chicane, hits that bump a little bit. And in fact, when you guys see someone coming around that looks like they're setting themselves up for a hot lap, maybe we can get a track walk going here. So just let me know when you see someone. In fact, actually Douglas Mitchell just went through, so actually we're going to find someone who just went through again. We're gonna
Looks like Tyler James is coming up near the line here, so we can go on board with him.
Tyler James, yep. All right, I'm going to put it here and two. All right, if you could give us a track guide here, Jan.
Let's go with bonnet cam here if we can.
All right, got it.
Great. So we're coming up T1. Gonna look for that 100 marker board and back it up a little bit. You know, get your turn in there. Just kiss the apex. Going through here, turn 1A. Formula calls this turn 2. It's barely a turn at all, but going under the bridge, you're gonna look for the beginning of that slightly off camber turn here. Pull it back to the left-hand side here. Kind of lift through this T3. Now you're coming up on one of the fastest corners on the track, T4. This is where, for those of you who remember, Felipe Massa had that massive accident. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Ooh, gets pushed out a little bit wide there. Coming into T5, this hairpin. Keeping it tight, it's looking good. Gotta accelerate out, look for the beginning of that curb, hit the brakes. Go all the way over the curbs here on the right-hand side. Just kiss that curb on the left-hand side through the chicane. Look for that light pole on the left, hit your brakes. Nicely done there. Just got to get back, stay off the curb here. That is quite slick. I was spinning out all the time over there in practice. That's not even lift in the dry, slight lift in the wet. You know, come back around, avoid this curb as well. Oh, goes over it, but causes no problems. Look again for the beginning of the curb here. Hit your brakes. Just touch the inside here. Only 2 corners left. Coming underneath the bridge. Hit the brakes again, you know, hairpin left here. Lean on the traction control, accelerate out, get back over the left, aim towards the apex here, turn right. Getting on the power here, should be a good lap.
And I believe he was down just a few hundredths there. Staying really consistent. That might be a very good sign for the race here. Tyler James, who is the head admin here, has been having some connectivity issues, so let's hope that we don't see that this race. I've been waiting to see a good performance from Tyler here. I think everyone has. It's been a little bit disappointing to see that, but we had our team of tech support, probably 10 people, try to help him out in general chat, trying to diagnose his issue. And you seem to be doing fine for the practice race yesterday. We're going to see how that works out. As the qualifying session ends here, we're going to take a look back up at the top here. Matt Lehman, who is 2/10 up on his time, going through the last couple of turns here. Let's see if he can put it back up. Believe this would be enough to put him in P2 or 3. Jump one more position.
He's up on his delta. Oh, not quite enough though to get P1. I think he'll get P2 here.
Loses just a little bit of time on that exit. Puts him in P3. Very close to getting that P2. But P3 is still a great position for him as we look at our pole sitters here. Jay Riley, Fimbers Casas, and Matt Lehman for the gold division here. 152.48 from Jay Riley. Wow. Crazy, crazy time. But we still do have one or two people still out on track. I'm going to take a look at Duran, who is trying to get up on his time here, down a few hundredths, but he can definitely still reel it in. When I was watching him before, I definitely saw that he could improve a couple tenths there. Oh, as he slides it a little bit in the back end. And I don't know if he's going to be able to recover from that. 2 tenths down on his lap.
Matiak was up, but looks like he made a mistake. And now he's backed off of his lap at T2.
As Duran bends it into a wall, says, heck, darn. All right.
As Patrick Watts in the YouTube chat sums it up pretty well with 52s in the wet. Goddamn. Yep, these guys are fast. This is Division 1.
A lot of certified aliens here on the track today. As we take a look at some of these awesome liveries that our league has put together. So many creative people. If you want to watch in the picture-in-picture as Josh does a little bit of a pan around of the different liveries.
And while I'm doing that, anybody care to look at this ground here?
That's ground. Oh, very dry.
Completely, yeah, very dry.
Oh my goodness. This is
looking at the forecast at the top of your screen there, Paul, it looks like it's going to be dry up until about the 30-minute point. So this is going to be an interesting call when it comes to the pit window today. Tires are in play.
This might actually shake up to be one of the most interesting races this season.
Grab your popcorn.
Dry up until the pit window, in which case these drivers have a choice to take tires or not take tires. I would assume that many of these drivers are going to be looking at doing their regular dry setups here, and then switching to wet tires after the pit stop. Some drivers may elect to try to keep it with the dry tires, the slicks, see how that goes for them, but I don't know.
I think going for slicks at this point is going to be a risky strategy, Paul. It's still probably going to be pretty greasy from the rain from that last qualifying session, so definitely going to be interesting.
I mean, this looks like very, very similar track conditions to what we experienced in the practice race for the Division 2, Division 3 practice race, and I found that the dry setup it felt almost completely normal. So, obviously, going to be one heck of a shakeup after that 30-minute mark when we see that rain pick up. It doesn't look like a lot of rain, so that's why I'm thinking maybe some people might elect to not. I don't know. Like I said, this is going to be very interesting. Also, to note, I do believe that we have fixed our livery situation for at least most of these vehicles. I have all the updated liveries so everyone can see all of their glorious creations here in the stream. Very excited about that. For those drivers who are watching, we are moving to a new livery system to upload and download our liveries. So it's a very exciting change for Season 4. And, yeah.
A big shout out to, I believe it's Awesome Sim Racing. Yeah, and they've put together quite the software that makes it very, very seamless for one to upload, collect, download, find, sort liveries. Takes all the hassle off of our end. So big shout out to them and what they've done.
As we're looking at our outlap here,
we have a quick request for a full-size track map.
Full-size track map. All right. While the outlap is happening here, we're going to take a quick peek at the track map here. As you can see, take a look at that pit lane there. Just before the last turn is where the turn in for the pit lane is. Definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out as well. This one isn't quite as unforgiving as many of the tracks that we've been to, but always an interesting setup. But yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but I did mean on the heads-up display.
On the heads-up display. Oh.
But I'm sure the viewers did appreciate getting a full overhead look at the track and seeing this odd shape we're looking at tonight. A little bit of a squished Coke bottle.
Well, I'm going to see if I can... Where is it? General? HUD?
Heads-up display.
Circuit map enabled. Radar.
Yeah, circuit map, and then go one more. It should be full.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that was turned off. My apologies, folks. There we go.
There we
Full
go.
map there for you guys.
Very nice. Don't feel like doing the Borat impression.
As these drivers come through the last couple of turns here to the start-finish line, everyone's going
Get some
double
quick
wide
predictions.
again. Yeah, quick predictions in the chat. My prediction, I think we're going to see at least one Honda pole today. I think that we're going to have one surprising crash out. And I'm going to say that Tyler James is going to get a top 10.
Bold.
As we go off and away for SRA. As we look at all these drivers shuffling around here, looking into turn one. Too wide through turn one. My goodness. As we get the bigger picture here. All these drivers
Couple cars
shuffling
sliding
about.
around.
Matt Lehman gets a good run on Fimbres Casas here, puts it in second place. Definitely where he wants to be. Oh, as we see a
That's
big
a
crash
collision
here
in turn 4.
Pip.
Drivers do their best to hold their brakes, stay out of the way. See if I can get a replay of that one there.
As Jay Riley gives us a little bit of a flash there. Maybe he should,
Just a lock up on the brakes, some contact.
Doesn't look too bad there. Not too much damage. Hopefully these drivers can get it back on track and continue to fight for position.
Yeah, Sutherland and Funk are 2 veteran drivers who know their way around, so they'll get their heads down and see what they can make their way back to the field here.
Jay Riley for P1 gets a decent little lead on Matt Lehman here, 0.7 seconds. Warden and Quigg, who are battling right now side by side, going into the last couple of turns here, as it looks like Warden takes the position from Quigg. But their battling has held up a bunch of drivers behind them, as that Honda from behind there of Nordstrom is looking to capitalize on Quigg being a little slow here, and a 2.2 second gap develops between Warden and Fimbres Casas, and a 1.3 second gap between Quigg and Warden. As Duran and Nordstrom are going side by side on the straightaway here. As you see them come around 3 wide on the straightaway here. I don't know how that's going to work as the Porsche tucks in behind from Blind Hen Racing. Duran loses the position out to Nordstrom, but still a very close gap. We're going to see how this fight develops here. A lot of action happening in the mid-pack.
Quigg is going backwards, almost just like he's got a flat tire or something. I'm going to be curious to see what tires he took at the beginning here.
Oh, no. Yeah, I would be as well.
Matt Morrison causes a yellow flag. Appears to be just a little spin here. Oh, similar to the earlier incident.
Oh, and he taps that red McLaren there. A little overzealous on the rejoin. But still held it very well. Didn't cause too many issues for other drivers. So we're going to take a look at some closer splits here. Douglas Mitchell and Bellinger, very close. Douglas sniffing sniffing that Porsche as it's too wide through here, with Quigg and Durrance battling it out with Bellinger and Douglas Mitchell also side by side here as they lose out a little bit. Bellinger follows in that Porsche of Daehee Yun and develops a little bit of a gap on Douglas Mitchell as he loses out to the commotion that was happening there.
An absolute mob of cars just behind him. A pack of, I'd say, 6 or 7 people.
You see side by side. Oh my goodness. That pip is looking insane over there. So I'm going to take a look at some other splits here. Also looking at this same fight here, I think there's so much going on. It's hard not to. So many drivers side by side through here. This is a very interesting fight as Bradley Busick, Anderson, Quigg, Evan Kim, Victor Diaz, Durrance, Jess Osborne, Fredrickson, Wong, Allen, and Bako, all within less than a second of each other.
This is what happens when you get dry conditions in a wet race. You gotta move. I think Quigg did take wet tires. Look at the line choices he's making. I think he's hoping it's gonna start a little bit earlier than something.
Well, if we look at the top there, in 10 minutes it says it's going to start raining, and then at the 30-minute mark it will, or just after the 30-minute mark, it'll start heavy raining. So as we see this develop here, I believe that a lot of these tires, all of these folks who have taken slicks at the beginning here are going to have to pit and take those wet tires.
I wonder if he keeps his pace back enough that he's not hurting the tires, but he's still with the field. If he can win this race, because if he doesn't have to change tires, that's a massive difference in pit time.
That would be very interesting, but also those tires are going to be wearing out more. They're going to be very hot on this relatively dry circuit here.
It's a gamble.
As we see Busick go around the outside of Durrance here, trying to make it stick. As you see the McLaren of Anderson on the inside there trying to capitalize. Can't make anything happen as Durrance tucks right back in behind. Anderson is now side by side with Durrance looking in through T1 as that McLaren is defending a little bit sketchily on that Lamborghini close behind.
Daehee Young defending well from his gold adversary of Doug Mitchell. He's crawled his way all the way up to 12th already. As we see a yellow flag up ahead, Fimbers Castles and Lehman.
Oh no. And it looks like Victor Diaz, and let's go back 15 seconds on this one, see if we can catch it. Victor Diaz and Evan Kim. Looks like they have something going on here with the yellow flag. Man, looks like Victor just loses it there.
6.
Oh, and it just looks like Evan Kim just did the same thing. They both touched the wall, and big damage for Victor Diaz. That is very unfortunate.
I wonder if we're starting to see a little rain here. I'd be curious to see, you know, I know it still says 10 minutes, but this race may be coming to Quigg with those wet tires pretty shortly here.
I don't see any wipers just yet.
Huge damage there for Victor Diaz. A very, very disappointing start for him. I know that he was very excited about this race. Thought that he had a really good car here and a really good setup here, but it looks like it isn't going to happen here. He may be going in for repairs, hopefully repairs, and not be dropping out, but we're going to try to keep an eye on that name, see if he gets back in the fight. As we see Sutherland and Allen and Bako all trading positions here. Allen seems to be
That's an
back.
oddball. Josh Arnold is in 28th and 39 seconds behind the pack.
He must have had something horrible happen, or maybe he went back into the pits to change tires. Made the wrong call.
It's pit stop at 37 seconds stopped. I feel that might be it.
Very interesting. We'll see how this plays out for him.
If he switched onto the dries, I wonder if that could be harmful in the end if it starts raining too soon, as Daehee spins around could be another victim of too much curb abuse here.
As Alan kind of pushes that Porsche
Yeah.
off of the track
Yeah.
just a little bit here, gets it back in as we see this insane mid-pack fight here. 3 cars all side by side here. 4 cars all fighting together.
Wow.
Oh, it looks like someone skips the chicane here. That would be Morrison of the BBC Bentley as he slows up that Audi of Kajtejevic as Allen. Oh, big crash here. Durance, Allen,
Oh, no.
Morrison,
Oh, no.
everyone involved here. Lots of yellow flags. We're going to try to take one more look at that. Wonder if we can get it from the helicam. As you see Durance, Allen, Morrison. Oh, we're getting the replay from all sorts of perspectives here.
And from the helicam, it picks up that it has just started raining.
Oh, I see that. Definitely rain on the track. Oh, it looks
Wipers
like
are on.
looks like that Porsche got a little bit loose and that Audi just touched him and everyone slammed in behind him. Not good for those drivers. Hopefully he doesn't have too big of damage, but it looks like his hood may be up on that Audi of Allen.
Gonna be a question now how long those drivers that took slicks are going to be able to hold on in these wet conditions, because they've still got quite a ways to go to the opening of that pit window. We're probably going to see two pit stops here from a lot of folks.
This is Quake's chance to put some harm on. If people start, as we see someone go straight on in the background there, Russell Allen. That is not the optimal line.
Just could not get it slowed down in those wet conditions. He's gonna have to change tires.
Another car off in the pip here. 93 car of Becco.
Bradley Busick has been fighting this entire time, involved in all these mid-pack shenanigans here. Just lost a position to the McLaren of Anderson. But this seems to be one of the closest on grid here, other than Matt Schwartz, who is 0.2 seconds off of Matt Yak here. I'm going to tune into that fight here. If you could catch in the pip, Wong, Funk, and Busick. Oh, it looks like you're there already. Awesome.
Beat you to it.
Don't see anybody going.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say don't see anybody going into the pits there yet. So be curious if these drivers actually took wet tires or started on slicks.
I feel for the pace that they were going, they had to have been on slick tires.
Yep. Better to get it done early.
Yeah, definitely. Going to say our resident league friend Rivas has pointed out, big wreck, much smash.
Indeed. As Schwartz takes the position from Matt Yak there.
Matt Morrison and Evan Kim come into the pits. First 2 contestants.
Nordstrom knocking on the door of Duran, only 0.4 seconds off here. Looks like Duran is turning the better lap times here and gaining just a little bit of a gap on him. But we're going to see. We know that this Honda is very quick. This all depends on how these drivers can navigate this very, very tricky weather. It's one thing if it's raining the entire time. It's one thing if it's dry the entire time. But to be switching up like this early in the race, throwing a lot of people off, this is insane.
Josh Arnold back into the pits.
As it looks like Nordstrom heads into the pits. Probably looking at taking some of those wet tires.
Interesting battle here. Hungaroring is one of the tracks where the track position is the most important probably on the entire calendar. So folks not wanting to give up that track position, but I think those that are going to pit here early are going to get it back towards the end of the race.
Yeah, as we said at the beginning, championship points on the line. Those who were looking to overtake the person ahead of them are really looking at this race because next race is also just a total toss-up at Bathurst. Is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. So be sure to tune in 2 weeks for that race. Mark that on your calendars because that's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch.
Well, Bentley goes wide there. Tricky off-camber turn. So while things seem to be settling down here, those in the chat, you know, as mentioned before, first Formula One circuit, where a Formula One race was held behind the Iron Curtain. Another question for you guys is, what's the nearest FIA Grade 1 track to the Hungaroring? So put your answers in the chat there.
Not only are you getting a race stream, you're also getting trivia night. We do it all here at SRA. Bradley Busick, 0.2, 0.3 seconds away from Anderson here, looking to recapture that position.
And Lehman is then into the pits. I think he was the first of the leaders to pit there.
Looking up and down the grid here, a lot of these people have kind of paced out. I'm actually looking at the closest battle on track right now between Anderson and Busick. Seems like a lot of these drivers are having some difficulty navigating these tricky race conditions here and are kind of playing it safe.
As we just tune in for Wong attempting to do a drift, it did not work out too successful.
Oh, as we see the McLaren of Anderson spin off the track here. See if I can try to capture that. Looks like he just got a little bit loose there. Yep, just coming out the turn. Got a little bit loose. Not a whole lot of contact with the wall. The wall can definitely be deadly as far as damage goes and aero damage. Losing 2 positions out there.
After that big pit shuffle, the field is really separated for the most part. There's a couple close battles, just under a second, but for the most part,
yeah,
gapped.
we're looking at 2 of the closest battles on track here. Matt Schwartz and Fimbres Casas here on the main screen, and you have Wong and Fredrickson in the picture-in-picture.
That is correct.
As I say that, Sutherland and Anderson, who we just saw a second ago, go off track there, just almost concedes the position to the BMW of Sutherland.
Patrick has the right answer in the chat here. It is the Red Bull Ring, in fact. You know, got some good answers here with Istanbul, with Castellet, and Sochi, but all of those are much, much further than Red Bull Ring, which is pretty much next door to Hungaroring.
I've learned so much tonight.
I know.
Got a question in the chat here from Luca, who doesn't have wets yet. I'm not sure exactly, but I don't think any of the leaders, meaning top 10, have taken wets yet.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of their lap times are suffering quite a bit. Riley doing 155.7s, Duran with 156.4s, Fimbres Casas with 155.5s. Fimbres Casas might have actually taken wets. I'm not sure because he was working himself up from the back there. But he just overtakes Matt Schwartz on the main picture there as he rockets ahead. close battles on track here as Anderson goes into the pit box. Taking a look at Lehman here, who we did see pit and take tires. Trying to catch up to Nordstrom.
He's coming up on his first lap after pitting, so we'll see what his lap times are looking at relative to the leaders.
As who's that in the picture there?
That is Durant's, who got a little too curb happy and paid a visit to Mr. Barrier.
Lehman just did a 152, so about 3 to 4 seconds slower than the leaders, who have not pitted yet, so don't know if that gamble's going to pay off for him.
Minutes into the race here, only a couple minutes left till the pit window. Those drivers who may have been holding out to see if they can wait till the pit window to take tires, we're gonna have to see where this track position shuffle, how it winds up being after the pits here.
I'm just quite astonished these drivers are able to hold on, you know, if they're driving slicks in these kinds of conditions. It's really seen the D1 skill come through here.
Yeah, well, hopefully we get a little bit more consistent track conditions during the D2 and D3 race, because I wouldn't even know what to do in this here situation.
Yeah, as long as it's not as consistent as the practice race, which was bone dry the entire time, I'll take it.
Matt Lehman slowly gaining on Nordstrom here. About a 10th per lap. I think it's a good exit. Ooh, coming up the inside, getting real close. 2/10 off now.
See that Honda VTEC rocket away from that McLaren.
VTEC.
Warden gets past Booker quick.
Busick and Funk also very close for P8 and P9.
I was looking at that, but I think I'm going to stay on Lehman and Nordstrom a little bit longer here and watch this fight develop as they close up the gap here to 0.2 seconds. Getting very interesting. As the field closes up all around the board, I'm actually going to tune into Durant's and Nordstrom. Actually, Nordstrom takes Durant's. Hold up a minute here. This little train of cars here is looking really spicy, as we see a Kajtejevic also join in on the fun. These drivers head through the last turn here. Matt Lehman squeezed the inside. Duran having to take that unfavorable outside line.
Oh, gets on the grass.
Yep.
I'm surprised Lehman is not making the progress I expected going through here. Although that Audi goes wide and Lehman goes through.
Now it looks like that battle's up to Katejevic and Durantz. And Katejevic also has to give up that position to Durantz as well. He may be one of the drivers who has held out with his original tires. Trying to see how long he can keep it out, because he is lapping a little slow here with 158.6s. The drivers around him. Lehman doing 153.9s, Nordstrom doing 153.3s, Durant's doing 156.9s. But I believe he does have a little bit of damage from some early shenanigans that were happening. As we're going to see the pit window open up, I believe in only a couple seconds here. See what these drivers decide to do.
It definitely looks like the right strategy to have stayed out, but I'd be curious, given how long a pit stop here is in terms of changing tires, how much progress Lehman can make once he gets in clear air. But he's got to pass Nordstrom, who looks like he's on wet tires as well.
In the meantime, Fimbres has worked himself all the way back up to second place now and has pulled a 1 second gap on Duran.
As we see,
made up a lot of ground since that earlier pit stop.
As we see a bunch of drivers go into the pit lane as the pit window opens. That includes Douglas Mitchell, Funk, Lehman, I believe. Wait, no, he did not. Durant's, Sutherland, all head into the pits as soon as they can. Katejevic, Morrison also heads into the pits.
Noting the official retirement of Victor Diaz.
Yep, I was just about to say that. Very unfortunate for him. He was definitely looking forward to a good race tonight, but alas, the rain got him, and the wall for that matter. As you see a good little train here, Busick, Quigg, Nordstrom, and Lehman all fighting for position here. Busick, who is lapping a little slow here, is going to have Quigg try to look up the inside as he skips over the curb. And the Audi of Matt Yak also kind of skips over the curb. A lot of shuffling around here, too wide. Oh my goodness.
As Funk picks up a stop-go 30 for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, very unfortunate. And Bradley Busick gets pushed off the track a little bit and allows Nordstrom and Lehman to overtake him there.
And Quigg could be a factor here. Remember, we think that he started on those wet tires. You know, and a lot of the leaders now are in the pits. So we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see if he comes back out in P1 and what kind of gap he can build out to those leaders once they come out of the pits.
Lehman is lapping almost 2 seconds faster than him, but if he can keep him behind, that would be an insane victory for him as we see Lehman pull into the pit lane.
Here we see Gordon comes out of the pits. Or no, did not pit.
Josh Amiani asking an important question out of the chat bot here. Can you find me a radiator for a '94 Suzuki Swift? I think
well,
it's only
they say they found me a woman. I need the real answers here.
Yeah, it's only going to be.
That needs moving.
It's only going to be 84% of a Suzuki Swift radiator there, though, Josh. So you're going to be out of luck, unfortunately.
Gosh darn it.
Nordstrom knocking on the back door of Quigg here. Jay Riley with a drive-through.
Penalty gods are not happy tonight.
No, sir. Nordstrom is looking left, looking right, trying to get past Quigg here as he defends to the inside.
Yeah, I think Nordstrom was one of those that took wet tires early as well, given his lap time. So, oh, hits the Porsche there in the back. Got to keep it clean if he's going to try to pass there.
And it looks like there's not much Quig can do there. Takes that inside line, didn't defend hard enough there through turn 1. Going into turn 2. See if he can switch it up on him. No, but that Honda just rockets away. Not turn 1, rather, than the 3rd sector as Quig heads into the pit lane. Be interesting to see what the tire wear on Quig's car is. As if he was taking wet tires early on, they may be a little bit worn out, a little bit hot. As we're both looking at one of the closest battles on track here. Actually, the closest battle on track between Fimbres Casas and Matt Schwartz. As he just puts his nose in up the inside. Can Matt Schwartz get that outside run on him? You see up the top there, right in the mirror, super close behind. Fimbres Casas just rockets away from him now.
As we pass halfway, just looking through the field at our podiums, our gold drivers. We've got Warden, Nordstrom, and Fimbres Casas. Our silver drivers, we've got Schwartz, who I believe would be his first win, first class of the season. DeHune and Sutherland, who I believe has not had a podium yet this season.
I think Warden and Nordstrom have not pit yet, though, so in that position is going to be, I think, Fimbres Casas, Schwartz, and Duran there in top 3.
On the overall. There we go.
Katejevic
The
looks
heat is
like
on.
he catches a little bit of curve there, spins it around. Looking at the replay here. He spins it around, gets it back safely.
+5 in style points for that spin around there, at
that
least.
was pretty good.
Very Sebastian Vettel of him.
Pastor Bedtime says that we were a little bit silent way too long on the commentary here. Pastor, we're just letting you enjoy the racing.
Anderson 0.6 seconds off of the Tufo here and gaining. Looks like he might have repaired that damage as he heads into the pit lane here. Matt Lehman, 0.7 seconds off of Tyler James. Tyler James looking really good in sixth place right now. I bet he's sweating. 0.4 seconds off now, Matt Lehman. Now 0.2 seconds off. Hopefully this is a nice clean pass. No funny business.
Really not a lot of passing opportunities where they are on the track. I think, Lehman's going to have to wait till they get basically to the other side of the track here so that he can pass. Really depends on how he gets, what kind of run he gets out of that last turn.
Matt Lehman is lapping a second faster than Tyler James here, so I believe it will be inevitable.
As long as he can get a good exit out of the final corner there, he should be able to take him down the inside of T1, but we'll see whether that comes true. Gets a little bit of a wiggle.
Only 2 minutes left of the pit window. Those who have not pitted should be looking to do so now. Looks like Josh Arnold in 21st position has not pitted.
James is trying to break the slipstream and goes all the way back. Stays in front.
Travis Nordstrom also just now coming out of the pits to join the fun here really soon. And he's only 0.5 seconds off of Jay Riley behind. As you can see them come through at the end there.
Yeah, Lehman's now back into the part of the track where there's really no overtaking opportunities, so he's going to have to keep it clean, stay patient, wait till he gets back onto the front straight there, and hopefully maybe stay down on the inside of James on the next lap. But he's positively pushing him around these corners. James is certainly holding up under this immense pressure that Lehman is putting on him. I don't know that I would be able to do that. Definitely be into the wall at this point if I was in front.
Especially seeing a name like Tyler James behind you. I mean, rather a name like Matt Lehman behind you. Oh, as he squeezes him onto the apex there. Catches a little bit of curb, but winds up pretty good from it. Still 0.2 seconds off. Right on the back door of him. I'm not sure how much longer he's going to hold him off. At this point, it's just basically trying to hold him up so he doesn't get a win here.
Almost better, I think, if James let him go. I mean, he's damaged his own time in his own race. He's going to fall into the clutches of those coming behind if he keeps fighting them.
Yeah, I think so too.
But he dives back down to the outside. He's really trying to break that slipstream, but
yeah,
if he's thinking the long game here, he probably should let Lehman go and try to stay out of the clutches of those behind.
Jay
Riley behind on the last lap was 1.2 seconds faster than those two. So they're catching pretty fast.
Ooh, a yellow flag from Warden here. Let's try to take a look at what happened. Looks like he's got some damage on the hood there. He was in third position. He just gets a little bit loose, catches that curb and slides across the track. The camera decided not to catch what exactly happened there, but looks like he hit the wall, got some damage. Gets pretty bad when the hood is up there. So definitely going to be interesting to see how he navigates all that. Tyler James, now 1 second off of him. Holding up this big train here. Now Jay Riley, 0.6 seconds off of Lehman. Lehman, 0.2 seconds off of James. As a big train is forming up here.
That could help Lehman if Warden holds up, James. Could give him an opportunity. It could also go the other way, but now there's a 5-car train. It's going to be quite spicy here. Hopefully there's going to be no additional accidents. But this is certainly going to help, I think, James get a slipstream down the front straight. Oh, he's going to pass him right there at the exit.
If you look at Lehman, look on the outside, look on the inside, swerving all around on the straight here. As he almost gets overlap on Tyler James here. Tyler James passing Warden and the Mercedes. Looks like most of this train gets by him here, slowed up from that damage. Nordstrom still yet to get by him. Tyler still manages to hold up Lehman. This is a really good battle here. I can't see how much longer this is going to last, but he's definitely putting on a show for us here today.
It's really in the nature of this circuit. I think any other circuit on the calendar, Lehman would be well past with this kind of time difference, but there's just absolutely no opportunity to pass him. And you saw that, if you remember, with Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton last year, how long Alonso held up Hamilton, in that Formula One race. Could be a similar thing that we're looking at here.
How's Doug doing in the Doug cam down there?
Doug is doing a very solid position of keeping Bellinger behind him, holding on to that P13. Totally cut that corner. I think that might be a warning.
Looks like
but it appears to be the only other close gap at the moment. Osborne's slowly reeling in, Busick right behind.
Looks like Riley and Nordstrom actually fell off the bumper of Matt Lehman here a little bit. Not quite sure what happened there. But Lehman's still knocking on the door of Tyler James here. Tyler's sitting in a very, very nice position of P4. I bet you he's feeling really happy right about now. Managing to hold him off for this long has just been insane.
Lehman's not getting a run on him either. I saw he took a wider line there. Probably was trying to maybe get a little bit of traction, but didn't work out for him.
Yeah, Tyler's going just fast enough that he really can't set up a move here. He's trying though. Gonna try to get a little bit of a run on this little straight and kink here. Falls off his bumper a little bit.
It's really a masterclass Tyler's putting in on how to defend around Hungaroring.
Yeah, I think Doug and Tyler both are master defenders here. Tyler James, our head admin here at SRA, always putting in a lot of work for us here. The reason why we're here tonight and able to put on this show and able to be here racing in this awesome league. As I said at the beginning, he had a couple of not so great races at the beginning or towards the middle of the season here, dealing with some connectivity issues. But tonight, he's putting in a show. We might have seen the return of Tyler James here, which I think was much wanted by everyone.
Also pretty good battle going on, you know, for P13, P14 with Bellinger within half a second of Mitchell. So some good battles as well, you know, further back. A lot of folks, you know, within half a second. Osborne's within half a second of Busick. Wong is within half a second of Latufo, but doesn't look like anybody's able to pass anybody so far. Hungaroring showing the importance of track position here.
It's just so hard to tune off of this battle here. It's 0.3 second gap, 0.2 second gap for the last probably 5 laps here. Last 10 minutes.
I think we got that battle for P13 and P14 in the PIP, so.
Yep.
We definitely do.
As we get a little close to Tyler there, you can see on the back of his bumper, it says, "Think again, pass equals ban." Maybe that's what's holding Matt Lehman up. There it is. Pass equals ban. Head admin flexing their muscles here, making sure that they win at least something here during the season. Both these drivers for the Sith Racing Alliance, Douglas Mitchell and Tyler James, have not had the best season so far, but had previously won the first 2 championships. Douglas Mitchell with 2 championships to his name, and both Tyler and Doug for their team championship.
Riley's pretty close.
Colin Gate.
Yeah, Colin Gate. Cannot forget that.
Stir the pot again.
Riley's getting involved here as well. I mean, he's as close to Lehman as Lehman is to James. And Nordstrom's right behind him, so we still got a 4-car train here. So you look in the rear view there for Lehman. A couple cars that staring down. Bambot is back in the chat, and Pastor Bedtime is complaining where the mod's at. Pastor Bedtime, we're just going to let you enjoy that there. It's adding some color there to the chat.
You got to keep it interesting.
Guess Pastor Bedtime's not interested in that 84% success rate. He's gonna wait till that gets up over the 90s.
Actually, I can't blame him. I can't blame him. Ooh, as Riley goes a little bit wide here, has to touch on the brakes. As he gets a drive-through penalty, and Warden right behind him also getting a drive-through penalty. Wow. So that's really going to shake up this train here, as Riley's going to have
Warden is pulled off to the side of the track, and not elected to return to pits, but to quit.
Wow. Very interesting as we see Riley letting Nordstrom by. Oh, Riley getting loose all over the track here. What is happening? He may be intentionally binning it here. And right into the wall. Riley, come on, buddy. What are you doing here? This was still a could have been a great race for you. Very unfortunate there. He likes to do
I don't know if that was intentional, but that was certainly a tank slapper.
I'm not sure what happened there. As he gets it back on track and he's just drifting around. Oh my goodness, at this point he may just have to, Yeah, I think he's gonna have to return to pits there. I'm gonna get off of Riley there, let him stew on what just happened. Matt Lehman still very close to Tyler James. 0.3 seconds off. Oh, Tyler James having an off track here. Oh no. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, just late on the brakes. He thought that the curb was the brake point, not the marker board. Very unfortunate. Tyler James dropping back to 6th place. Still a 12-second gap to the car behind, so I think he should be fine. Obviously not the 4th position that he wanted and had defended for so valiantly for the last 15 minutes, but I think he's looking to probably try to catch up on these drivers in front. We're going to see if that can happen.
Impressively kept it out of the wall, though, so
yeah.
Good thing he's not carrying damage to at least chase them down.
I'm going to switch around to some other battles on track here. Dae-hee Yun. 0.5 seconds off of Durant's here. Battle of the Porsches. Dae-hee Yun, also an admin here at SRA, puts in absolutely amazing work. Working on the back end of everything here. So, huge props to him. And he's still crazy fast. Puts in all that work week in, week out. And still just dusts the competition here. He's in P2 for the Silver Division right now. Looking over at the overall scoreboard here, Fimbres Casas in first with an 8.2 second gap to the first position for the Silver Division, Matt Schwartz, which will be an absolutely insane finish for him today here if he can hold it off. 3.5 seconds behind is Dom Duran for P2 for the Gold Division, Matt Lehman P3 for the Gold Division. 8 seconds off of him. P2 for the Silver Division, Dae-hee Yun, who we're watching right now, trying to overtake the Porsche of Durant's, as it looks like he's going to make it happen. It goes a little bit deep into T1. Can't make it happen, actually. Douglas Mitchell capitalizing on the situation, coming in right behind him. And to wrap up the top 3 for the Silver Division, Sutherland, who's in 3rd place in his BMW. Dae-hee Yun, that move cost him a position there, and it's going to cost him another position if Bellinger can get around him.
Bellinger needs it back out here, though. He's on the inside, and he does smartly.
Yeah, it's almost impossible to go through that corner side by side, especially in the rain. Pretty tricky.
So now that we only got 11 minutes left, I'll deploy my second trivia question here for those watching the stream. So, the question is what position in terms of length for for FIA Grade 1 circuits is Hungaroring. So the question is, you know, is it top 10 in terms of shortest? You know, where does it sit in terms of shortest to longest tracks that are FIA Grade 1 certified?
Bellinger 0.3 seconds off of Dahey here. He was falling 0.8 seconds off of Douglas Mitchell. Durant's capitalizing on the chaos that was happening behind him with Dahey and pulls ahead 0.5 seconds ahead of Douglas Mitchell, but still a lot of pressure behind as Doug, who we're going to tune on board with here, gets a pretty good run out of the corner. Now only 0.4 seconds off in the toe of that Porsche. The McLaren having a better top end speed here. Now he's just 0.1 seconds off of him, right on the tail, almost on his bumper here, as he looks to make a little bit of a switchback into this turn here, but the Porsche covers his inside line, doesn't go wide. Doug can't make anything happen here. Still looking really good. 0.2 seconds off. Dahey pulling away a little bit from Bellinger and catching back up with Doug and Durant's here, as Durant is slowing down the pack defending. Dahey now only 0.4 seconds off of Doug.
Yeah, in the PIP, you see Nordstrom keeping Lehman honest. I mean, he's within 0.3 of a second here. I certainly expected that once Lehman passed James, that Nordstrom would fall away, but he's shown that he's got the speed to hang with Lehman.
Yep, less than 10 minutes left in the race here. All those drivers who were holding back, saving their tires, trying to be conservative at the beginning here, are now looking to push for their last couple positions.
Interesting to see Quig in 7 as well. You know, if you remember, he dropped way down at the beginning and then was getting passed left and right because he had those rain tires, but it seems to be at least paying off for him, put him in a good position. I think he's made up most of what he lost.
Josh Arnold, to note, who we saw take a very early pit stop, is in 23rd. So it looks like that.
As Nordstrom spins around.
Oh no. Is there any way you can get a replay of that?
We've got it coming right now. It looks like he catches that same curve that's caught everybody out tonight. He does. Not too much wall, but enough to spin him around.
Yep. It looks like
still moving back behind Tyler.
That's great for Tyler, putting him back up in 5th position here. But so long as Nordstrom doesn't have a ton of damage, you may see Tyler defending even more as he catches back up with him. A lot of chaos happening here. Doug still cannot get by Durant's 0.3 seconds off, as they're both sliding around, desperately trying to defend or catch that position. Jess Osborne, which I'm going to tune in just for a second, has thrown a yellow flag. Let's take a look at what happened here. Jess Osborne has actually been running pretty decently tonight, but yep, just kind of drifts it around and spins it. Gets back on track safely.
A tough snap.
Heading back to Durant. Oh, and it looks like I missed it, but Douglas Mitchell has overtaken Durant's, and Durant is under heavy pressure from the drivers behind.
Durant's are trying to give him the switchback here, but I think it's a little bit too little, too late.
As Bellinger and Dahey are duking it out right now. Bellinger overtaking Dahey, but still side by side through here. Bellinger is going to have more of a straight line run here, so I don't think there's too much Dahey can really do through T1. We're going to see this 4-car train looking really wild here. Bellinger now right on the back bumper of Durant's. only 0.3 seconds off as Douglas Mitchell pulls away, a 1 second gap to the cars behind.
And interestingly, Lehman is lapping 1 to 2 seconds faster than Duran ahead of him. So, 3 to 4 laps here, he might be able to get on top of them, but I don't think he's going to have enough time given how much time's left in this race. Oh, somebody
and
goes around.
Durant's just gets loose, touches that wall. That's what it looked like to me. Man, unfortunate for him. He was able to hold off that position for quite a while there, but yep, the rain got him. Looks like the rain is on full bore right now. Only 5 minutes left of the race here. Very unfortunate for him. Still, only in, where is he? In 12th place with a 1.8 second gap to the car behind. So we're going to see how that works out for him. Colin Matyak.
Tough losing 4.
Yeah, my bad, go.
No, I was going to say just tough for Durant's losing 4 positions and, within a lap and a half.
Colin Matyak, who we're actually looking at on the pip and on the main screen here, almost side by side with Quig here. Colin might go a little bit deep, leaves plenty of room for the inside. Ooh, man, as Quig kind of pushes him out a little bit there. Now falling off 0.6 seconds behind. He's still looking to take that position back from Bellinger, who's sitting in P10, 0.5 seconds off. Bellinger catching back up with Douglas Mitchell here, as now only 0.2 seconds off. So hopefully Doug can keep it together here and use those defending skills that he's so well known for and hold Bellinger off here. 0.3 second gap to them now. This may be Daihi's opportunity to catch up here, as that Mercedes just eats those curbs.
Yeah, Revis, you're right about Hungaroring in terms of FI Grade 1. It's actually number 13 in terms of shortest. But for the current circuits on the Formula 1 calendar, it's actually number 6 for shortest, with the shortest actually being Monaco.
Daihi catching back up to Bellinger here, as Bellinger backs off of Douglas Mitchell. Jess Osborne with another yellow flag here. Oh, it looks like you've caught that. Looks like he just kind of spins it around a little bit there. Yep,
Yeah.
just loses the back end.
Touched a little curb on entry and it'll unsettle the car. There's no grip on that painted surface, especially in the wet.
Colin Matyak pushing Booker Quigg, almost gives him the bump and run, but taps his brakes a little bit there. Very sportsman-like move. Clean racing here at SRA, with only 2 minutes left in the race. Anyone who's looking to capture those last positions are looking right now. Colin Matyak can still make a move, only 0.4 seconds off. Daihi on 0.5 seconds off. Wong going into the pits for some reason.
He's serving a drive-through, it looks like,
okay.
so that's going to put him to the back, I think. Except for maybe Fredrickson, I think. We'll see where he comes out. Comes out P20, so looks like he lost about 7 spots in that, or 5 spots rather, in that serving that drive-through. Kind of surprising getting, I assume that's for track cuts, but would not have thought that Hungaroring in the wet is a track where you can get a lot of track cuts.
Well, I mean, just going a little bit wide and maybe touching a curb a couple times, especially in that area where we're watching the picture-in-picture, is a possibility for some track cuts to happen. I know that in my testing wasn't a whole ton of them, but if you consistently go wide through that corner, you can get a few. Colin Matyak still right on the bumper of Brooker Quigg here. 0.2 seconds off, 0.1 seconds off, gaining and losing that gap.
And in the pip, Nordstrom has caught back up to the tail of Tyler James, now just over a half second back.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
As you just heard there, leader is on the final lap with only 25 seconds left of the race to go.
Lehman's 1 second from Duran, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to do it. Caught back up, but I think it's going to be Fimbres, Casas, Schwartz, and Duran for the top 3 there for the podium.
And it looks like Colin Matyak just got around Brooker Quigg, that last lap position that he so wanted. Brooker Quigg defending for the last couple laps here. These two putting on quite a show as Colin pulls away from him a little bit here. Quigg actually spins it around, unfortunately. Luckily, he's got a decent little gap to the car behind, so just bring it home, buddy. Bring it home. Nordstrom, as we're seeing here, there's a blue flag in front. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is brutal. Oh, my gosh. Tyler James must have been might need to change his underwear after that one. Trying so hard to defend this position. Yeah. Oh, so unfortunate. Almost spun right in front of him. But he manages to keep it together here. Tyler James dealing with these blue flags. I'm sure he's not going to be too happy with this. He's probably saying, come on, guys, get out of my way. I've got someone behind as he's giving him the flash. Pleading with him. Going through the chicane here. Nordstrom is right on his tail, biting for that position. 0.1 seconds back, 0.2 seconds back. Come on, Tyler. You got this, buddy.
Fimbres, Casas is coming around the last corner now, so race is going to be over shortly here.
Oh. Ooh, almost gives him the bump there. Oh, this is intense. Come on, Tyler. You can defend this, buddy. You can defend this. Only a couple more corners left to go.
Let's drop back from those blue flags, intelligently giving himself a little bit of space to work with to keep Nordstrom behind him.
As it looks like there's a Lamborghini pirouetting off track over there. And Tyler pulls ahead a little bit of Nordstrom here, going through the last turn. Can he hold it off? Can he hold it off? Can he hold it off? Is they're going to go side by side on the straight? Oh, my goodness. Oh, almost a photo finish there, as I believe Tyler James gets that keeps that position. Great race from those folks. Looking down, one of our last closest gaps here is Daehee Yun and Bellinger, 0.7 seconds away from each other. I don't know if he's going to be able to close that gap in time. As we're watching these people come around the final corner here, Fimbres Casas for the win here at Hungaroring. Matt Schwartz in second place, taking P1 for the silver division. Dom Duran in P3 for P2 for the gold division. Matt Lehman in P3 for the gold division, P4 overall. Daehee Yun for P2 for the silver division. And N. Sutherland for P3 for the silver division. So, absolutely phenomenal race, guys. Jan, if you wouldn't mind looking around in the chat to see if we have Fimbres Casas, Matt Schwartz, Dom Duran, Daehee Yun, or Sutherland in the chat, and bring them into the cool down room for the broadcast chat.
Will do.
Awesome. Boom, boom.
Don't see them in the cool down room yet. They're probably getting weighed. Getting a
Well,
drink of water before they enter that cool down room.
we're
But
gonna
we'll pull those drivers in as soon as we can.
no, we're gonna have to move them in there. So, Daehee, who's in general.
Oh, we're gonna go through both gold and silver
Yes.
winners here, right?
Yes. Matt Schwartz, I'm going to move him up. And we're looking for Sutherland, if we can see him. Matt Lehman, right? Fimbres Casas. Who else are we looking for? Is that it? Is that all we can find? Why am I muted? Oh my goodness. For some reason I muted myself in the Discord. But yeah, so I moved him up. Also, yeah, Fimbres Casas, I found him. He's in the cooldown room now. Awesome. Yeah, it looks like that's pretty much all who we're going to get. Sutherland and Lehman decided not to join us here this evening. But who was first here? Fimbres Casas, the overall race winner. We're going to pull him in. Mr. Diego Fimbres Casas, outstanding win today. How was it out there?
Oh, thank you so much. I am beyond delighted right now because I've been trying to get a W for the longest time.
Yeah, we've been seeing you every race, week in, week out, putting it up there, getting very close to a win, putting it in contention for a win every single week, but not quite being able to put it up there. But this race, you made it happen. Looks like you dropped back a little bit there and were able to bring it back. What was your situation with tires? Did you start off on dry tires and move to wets, or what happened there?
I started on dries because I saw that the rain was gonna come in 30 minutes. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna start on dries. I'm not gonna risk it on wets because I don't wanna kill the wets. So I said, I'm just gonna risk it on dries and see what happened. And then when the rain came, I noticed that I still had a lot of grip in the car. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna stand distant until if I can reach the pit window. And I mean that's exactly what happened. And I mean, it was tough. It actually it wasn't that tough driving the car with dries. It was really grippy. But after I got the dries on, I mean the wets on. I mean, I could definitely see the difference in grip. But even then, I mean, I think that I took the correct decision in just staying out until the pit window opened.
Yeah, it was an absolutely dominating performance out there today. And a lot of people are going to be in the D2 and D3 are going to be looking at this and trying to figure out what they would do in a situation like that, but certainly a very interesting shakeup there.
Yes, definitely. These are the hardest races when there's variable conditions, and then when you really have to think about when you want to pit. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard because just one minor mistake and it's done. The
Yep.
race is done. So it's really, really, really tough.
Yeah, you had a great race out there, Diego. It was quiet for you, out front. I don't think you had a lot of competition except for those first couple laps, but well done. You managed that really well.
Yeah, thank you so much. I actually had a little incident with Lehman before the hairpin. We were just racing hard. I mean, this is Hungaroring, and it's really hard to overtake. We just had a little racing incident, but besides that, I still managed to catch up. And then after the strategy, that's when I really made up the places. But I'm really happy. I'm really so happy with the win.
You trying to send a message to the stewards there, Diego? Trying to make sure they don't give you a penalty. I guess we'll have them take a look at that event now that you called it out.
I flagged that one. All right, extra review there.
It was just hard racing, hard racing. No bad intentions or anything. We were just racing really hard.
Well, congratulations on the first win here at SRA, Mr. Fimbres Casas, and looking forward for many more and seeing you up here for next race and season 4.
Alrighty, thank you. And before I go, I really want to dedicate this win to my grandparents that have passed away, and especially my stepdad who it's gonna be almost a year since he passed away. He used to watch me race. He passed away from pancreatic cancer. So while he was just chilling at his home, I used to send him the links to watch me race. So I really want to dedicate this win to my family that has passed away.
Oh wow, that's very very heartwarming. It's one of the greater dedications that we've had here.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fimbriscasas.
Alright, have a good one, guys.
You
Good
too.
night.
Bye. So we're gonna be bringing up Dom Duran here. Mr. Duran, congratulations. How'd you
Thank
feel out there?
the wet's kind to me. You know, I think I had a good wet Zandvoort race and I had a good wet Hungaroring race, so I'm definitely a fan of these wet races, and today was super interesting.
What was your strategy there, Dominic? Did you take dry tires at the beginning? Did you take wet tires? Did you pit, or what was your strategy? Walk us through it.
Yeah, I took dry tires to start off with. I thought the rain would come like half an hour in, but it came 10 minutes in, and I pretty much nailed the pressures. But I mean, funny enough, I was still running like 55s and 56s on slicks in the wet, which is like close enough to wet times to justify not pitting early. So I kind of just held out until I had to go pit for wets, and it all worked out.
Yeah, and you had a great performance out there today. We tuned into quite a quite a bit watching that purple Aston Martin roll around the track there. You looked really good out there today.
Appreciate it. Thank you, boys.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any advice that you might give to the D2 or D3 drivers who are looking to do this tomorrow?
Um, if it's dry, start on slicks and take it easy. Turn your TC up a little bit. If it's full wet, take it easy into turn one and just relax. Try not to overdrive it. Uh, Drive-throughs and pit penalties were big today.
Yeah, we noticed
So
that.
yeah, just try to keep it on track. Don't overdrive it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Duran, and congratulations.
Thank you, gents.
I'm bringing up Matt Schwartz now. Mr. Schwartz,
Hello, hello.
P2 overall, P1 for the silver division, an absolutely insane performance out there today. How'd you feel?
The car felt really good. Dahi hooked me up with the setup late last night, and I didn't have time after work. Did try it out until about 20 minutes before, but it was so hooked up. And at the beginning of the race, it was greasy, so it was a scramble to just reset everything and just get at dry pressures. I guess at dry pressures, throw dries on and hope for the best. And yeah, just the car felt great the entire time, and it was a fun one to drive.
Yeah, so what was your pit strategy? Can you walk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, so right when I saw it was greasy, I forgot whether or not that was a dry optimal track condition, so I had to Google it real fast. And then we did dries to start, half fuel, because we were gonna switch it on and then switch on the wets at the pit stop, so we could do that half fuel gain. And then the rain came earlier than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't think he would make the cutover. Probably there'd be about equal for like another 5-6 laps. So I was like, we're just gonna stay out and hope for the best that I just keep it on track here. And I nailed the pit stop, which is something I never do. Got both Diego and Duran in the pits, and then I knew my race wasn't with Diego because that NSX was just hooked up so much, so didn't fight him too hard, and then just tried to stay with him and hope Lehman didn't catch me by the end of the race. So
Yeah, you may have got a little lucky. Tyler James actually held up Matt Lehman for like 5
I
laps.
saw that.
I
saw that.
It was insane for him. Put on an absolute show, and a lot of textbook defending there for Hungaroring. He was just fast enough that Lehman couldn't set up a move on him, and yeah, that definitely helped a lot of people at the top here who have joined us here for the post race interviews get those positions. So
Yeah,
And
Shorts. I think Tyler James there was your Fernando Alonso. Making sure that you got the win there. So you got to
I saw that
get him
because I was
you know,
watching the timing boards quite a bit, and I
yeah,
was like, oh, he's doing God's work.
yeah, for
And
sure. You're gonna have to take him out to a nice dinner after this one.
I will, but P2 feels good. It's nice to get that car up on the podium. We've had a lot of good pace this season, but we've just our entire team just hasn't been able to get it done on during race. So it was nice to finally hook up a weekend.
yeah, so I believe this is your first win for the Division One Silver Division this season, and your first podium in the overall race. Is there anyone you want to dedicate this race to?
Let's see. I know someone was watching this race, so I'll just dedicate it to them. They know who they.
Oh, okay. All right, Mr. Schwartz, great performance this week, and we hope to see you up here again next week.
Yep. Thank you so much. See ya.
See ya. All right, now we're going to bring up Dahi. Dahi, sorry to keep you waiting down there. Great performance today. We watched you quite a bit. You had a lot of battles on the track. A lot of people who you couldn't get past. You were fighting with Bellinger quite a bit there, and Doug. So we were tuning into that battle for quite a few laps there. Very interesting to watch. But yeah, how'd you feel out there?
Yeah, regarding the battles, it was a lot of fun, although I lost out on all the battles, but definitely showed that I have some more work to do in terms of racecraft, but it was a lot of fun to keep it on track and actually battle with the guys I typically don't get to see.
Yeah, as we were saying at the beginning of the stream, there's going to be a lot of shakeups up and down the grid, a lot of surprise wins, surprise podiums, and I'm not necessarily surprised to see you up here, but it was definitely nice to see a good performance out of you here at Hungaroring. Glad to see you up there. I believe that was it was a P2 for the silver division. So
Yeah, I think it was actually my best finish the season so far, so pretty happy with it.
yeah.
And I got pretty lucky with the guesses I made on the strategy we had to do, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what was your strategy? Can you give us a rundown?
So as soon as I saw the greasy tracks, I put on slicks, put the brake pads to 1, and started out the race on the dry. And when it started raining, my lap times weren't dropping that much, so I decided to stay out on slicks and pit at the window for the wets. And I think that was the prevailing strategy of the night.
Yeah, we saw some people the second they saw a raindrop go right in, including Josh Arnold, one of your competitors there for the silver division. He wound up not getting a good the good end of the stick there, wound up towards the back of the grid. So that was definitely the right call to just try to stay out in the dries and until the pit. But there's a we saw that the rain came way earlier than we expected. It said on the thing on the at the top that it was going to be raining at the 30-minute mark. Wound up raining 10 minutes in. So there was a lot of people who, to add to the confusion of it being a greasy track that was going to rain later on, it rained earlier than people predicted it to. So
I could have sworn I saw the light rain at 10 minutes, but maybe it's just a commentator view being buggy.
Yeah, I don't know. We talked to a couple of other people here, and they were all saying the same thing. Maybe you had the insider admin information using using those special permissions to get an edge up on the competition there. But
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. But
And you got a shout out from Shorts as well, Dahi, for that monster setup you gave him. So you can feel good that you had a role in P2 as well there for this race.
Yeah, I'm beating myself up for it because he's my direct competitor.
Yeah.
But it feels good that my setup's actually doing work. He showed what the setup can actually do. So.
Sure. Well, I think you both showed what you can do here with that setup. So, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Dehi. We hope to see you up here again next race at Bathurst or Mount Panorama. So be looking forward to that. Get your practice in. I know you will.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some praying in for that one.
I
All right,
think
thank
we
you
all
guys.
will.
And keep those setups to yourself there, Dehi.
All right, Dehi, thank you. All right, guys. This is concluding our stream here. I'm going to give a quick shout out to our schedule and to the league. We have one more race here at SRA, Mount Panorama, for this season. And it's going to be a bloodbath. So, like Dehi said, there's going to be a lot of praying going on and trying to stay out of those crashes on the mountain. But I highly suggest you tune into that. We're taking 1 week off here to do some fun exhibition races. We're doing a endurance race at Watkins Glen, which will be very fun. If anyone is watching the stream interested in endurance races, I highly suggest you click the link in the description or go to discord.gg/simracingalliance or go to simracingalliance.com for more information. We are running our practice races on Monday, our Division 1 races on Tuesday, Division 2 and 3 races on Wednesday for our GT3 series. Every Thursday or Friday, we have a coaching night for the next upcoming track. So any new drivers out there or people who may be a little bit shy to join a league because they're not sure about what paces they can set, I highly suggest that you get in here, tune in for the coaching night, and you can get some one-on-one action with some of the fastest drivers in the ACC. We are also running exhibition races on Saturday nights and randomly throughout the week. So even if you don't have the time to commit to a full season of our GT3 series, we're always running something fun in the Discord. Like I said, go look in the description and go to simracingalliance.com for more information. That concludes our stream here today. I'm signing off. This is Paulie Hartman. And I'm here with...
This is Josh.
And this is Jan.
All right. Good night, guys.
Thanks, everyone.